Hey, good morning, peeps. How you doing? David here at Q's Cafe. Want to check out some of these recipes? I'll be posting them here probably later on today. So go to qscafe.org. That's QSCAFE.org, and you'll be able to see what's going on. So today we're going to be cooking stuffed bell peppers with beef, and I'm going to try to arrange the camera. I've got a little, see that right there? It's kind of nice. It's hooked up, and it should be able to point right down in the pan, but for right now, we'll just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. I hope everyone's having a good day out there today, and this is therapeutic for me. As many of you know, I love to cook, and so this is good for me to do this. And I'm also, I was trying to make a, well, how can I say, I was going to make a video, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that or not. So we'll see. I don't know if I can download Facebook Live afterwards or whatever the case might be, but you never know. I'm checking something right now, so just hold on. We're going to start the cooking. They said I got 90 minutes on FaceTime, and I know most of you won't stay here that long, but you know, you never know. It could be fun. Let me check on some communication here real quickly. See if it's working or not. Well, so what I'm going to do, because I can't watch my Facebook feed on my other phone, I'm going to go to camera and I'll do a video as best I can, and we'll see if this will be a good one or not. So now, wrong. Hold on just a minute. Turn the camera around, David. Yeah, okay, well, we'll just do it that way. Hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What are you going to do? So, as I told you before, family coming up here for the 4th of July holiday. So we're going to cook a little bit of something to eat. And I chose for our Sunday dinner, and also for freezing, the stuffed bell peppers with beef. Went out and got me a nice new pan. How about this? Check this out. Now, I was looking for something a little different, but I got this. This is a 14-incher Rachel Ray. I got it at Kohl's, good price, and we're going to try it. Got another one that's a little deeper, but I think we'll try this one and see how that goes. See if I can't pull out. I guess you can't, but anyway. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's start. We've got all your ingredients lined up here on the table. First off, we've got is your, I do take notes. So we've got, now I'm doubling the recipe again, so keep that in mind, doubling the recipe. And we have got, let's see, that would be 16 ounces of ground beef. Now, I'm using the 90% because I want these things to hold together. I don't want a lot of juice coming out of them. The 83%, that's for the 4th of July cookout later on. We also have 2 medium yellow onions, and I like Vidalia onions because they got that sweetness going on. They're chopped, ready to go. We have got 4 cloves of garlic, again, because we are doubling up on the recipe today. We also have here our 1.5 cups of no salt added tomato sauce. Now, if you're not writing this down, don't worry, I'll be posting it on qscafe.org later this afternoon after my mid-afternoon therapeutic nap. Then we got some whole dried basil, but you know, I kind of like just to add in the oregano too, so I'm using the Hy-Vee Italian seasoning instead. I think that might go pretty good, but recipe calls for dried basil instead. We've mixed together, let's see here, about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. You'll also need some cooking spray. It's over there on the table right there with the sea salt. Now here's something I found. I don't know what's going to happen with this. This is live experiment from Q's Cafe's kitchen. These are dried apricots that are going to go in there also. And then you're also going to need for the sauce later on, you'll need some chives for the sauce. and some just plain old, I use Dannon, but you could use anything you want, Greek non-fat yogurt. So we'll set that aside because we won't be needing that today. Then you have got all these bell peppers to go with. Now, I'm going to attempt to go over here and set this up where you might be able to watch what I'm doing. So I hope... Cameraman down. Lost the camera there for a second. Well, you know, that's what happens. It's like old Metro Weather days. I had to do everything. So let's see if we can't get that secure there. Yeah. I think we're going to be okay. Good. All right. I feel like I'm on the TV Food Network here or something like that. So, you want to get your bell peppers. Get them with a nice flat bottom, you know, because they're going to be standing up in that roasting pan later on during the cooking. And if they start tilting and things like that, you could lose what you have going for you. So, cut the tops off of it, and then the recipe says take a paring knife and go inside and get the membrane. But here is a handy hack. Just use a small teaspoon, and let me walk around there and I'll show you real quickly. Let me pick, I've got all kinds of colors. I'll walk around here and show you. So you take this like that and get in there and just, you know, pull it out, just like working a cantaloupe, something like that. Get that membrane out so we can continue on. I got a little trash can here, so don't tell Lainey that I'm just throwing it on the floor, because that would be wrong. So, there we go. So we've got that one done. That one's done. This one needs to be done. So a little update. Everybody's always wondering about how I'm doing. We're getting better. The graft versus host disease, after I had my lymphocyte infusion because of a small relapse of my bone marrow cancer, I had a 50-50 chance of getting graft versus host. Well, you know me, if you're going to do it, might as well do it upright. And it attacked liver, lungs, skin, intestines. We were one sick puppy there in the hospital for a while, but things are getting better. It's a daily process. One thing I have learned real fast is when I'm sitting, I've got 135 over 80, but when I stand, it drops down to 85 over 60. So I get a little woozy sometimes. And I think you can tell a little out of breath today, but I wanted to get this done and share with you guys. I think this is going to be really cool, because if I can download this, Dennis Narciso probably knows how to do it. If I can download this to my computer, then I can just load the video up and put it on QsCafe.org, and then you can have a video demonstration of what's going on also. So, first off, I did forget to mention that you're going to need at least a cup of white rice. Now, recipe calls for basmati rice. There's good Indian, India rice, but again, I think I've told you before, I like jasmine rice. So I got some good Vietnamese jasmine rice because I like the way it fluffs up. It has a sweet texture to it, and it's not really starchy that bad. So you'll need at least a cup of that cooked, and we haven't done that yet, but we'll do it during the process, and we may have to have a part 2 and maybe a part 3 too to see what happens with that. So let's get started. First off, we are going to chop the onion, mince the garlic, and all that good stuff like that. So let me come around there. We've already got the garlic and the onion done. And now, turn that on. Get a little spray. I'm going to turn the camera here for you in just a second. Let me go ahead and get the prep ready. Now this is the first time I've used this pan, so I'm going to kind of give it some good olive oil spray. Now let's see what happens when we switch around. Okay, now we're going to take that and go like this. I had it pretty much done a little while ago. Let's see if I can't do it again. I'm going to have to set you down for just a minute, folks, so I can adjust this, because we want you to be able to see what we're doing. Come here, you little stinker. And position that right about there. And Man, I wish I had a cameraman. I just cut everybody off. I'm sorry about that. Alrighty, let's see if we can't get this up in there now. Nice and carefully. Alrighty. Now, according to my view, you should be able to see what's going on down below. Good, I think that looks pretty good. Alright, so we've got it heating up now. We're going to add in our onion and our garlic. And remember, that's 2 medium yellow onions. I use, of course, Vidalia. And then 4 cloves of garlic because we are doubling up on it. So let's throw the onion in first. Get it going. Get some saute action happening here real fast. And I know I shouldn't mess with this, but I'm going to do that. Now that might be good. Alright, get my handy dandy silicone thing here. Turn up the heat a little bit. So anyway, as I was saying, it's a beautiful day here. It's only like in the low 80s right now. And I think we're supposed to be getting some rain also later on. So that's going to be kind of cool. So let's get this going. I'm glad I got a whole 90-minute time frame if I need it, but I don't think we'll need it. What I will do, we've got the oven going, ready to go at 400 degrees. And what we will do is we'll put them in the oven, and then we'll come back later this afternoon when they're done cooking, and I'll show you what we've got. Also going to do a little bit of a product review. I'm thinking, you know, I don't have a vacuum bagger. I just squeeze the air out of a baggie and get it as tight as I can. But Ziploc, I think it's Ziploc, they've started making a vacuum system where you can pump out the air and make it nice and neat. I think that's going to be the thing to do. My plan is to take these and individually tinfoil them and freeze them. You know, I'll put them in tinfoil. Well, I guess I wouldn't have to if I'm putting them in the vacuum bag. So we'll see what happens. And if I can get them vacuumed and then just put 2 in a bag, then, you know, if there's any leftovers after the girls eat, then we'll have them for Lainey and I just have a quick lunch or something like that. So I got granddaughters coming up. Our granddaughter, Savannah from Austin, is going to be here with us. We're also going to have Avery, Langley, and Emery. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully City Papa will not be too tired. But it'll be fun for the 4th of July. They always try to come up on the 4th of July, and we have a weenie roast. I was going to smoke some meat, but folks, I just can't go up and down the stairs that much right now. So, here we go. So far, you know, I kind of like this. It kind of reminds me of a paella pan that they use over in Spain. It's really nice and wide. I wish it would have been a little higher, like 3 inches. This looks like maybe about 2 inches instead. And I've never used the Rachel Ray brand, but we're going to find out. Now, I got another one that I really like now. This is a 11-inch deep kind of frying pan from Food Network. Nice big piece of aluminum or stainless steel right here, aluminum, and of course that new white ceramic coating that helps so much. So we're going to give that a try too and see what happens. Oh wow, it's really starting to smell good. So we're going to turn down the heat just a bit because we don't want to get the new pan scorched right off. Okay, so the onions are starting to get a little translucent. So let's take our garlic now, throw that in there. And now we're really going to stink up the neighborhood. Neighbors are going to get jealous real fast. Okay, now I always keep hot soapy water ready to go, so I can just put that in there and it can soak. That way if I need to use it again, I just run in there and grab it. So, not bad. Yeah, so now I wasn't really supposed to go out, but I went out early today. Kohl's opened at 9, and I think I was the only customer in there. And then Price Chopper, it's Wednesday, which means it's Food Ad Day. So it's just me and the other senior citizens, which I don't mind being called because I get great discounts. And people get out of your way when you're walking down the aisle with a cane. I like that. That's the pirate in me. So we're letting this cook a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over our hamburger meat. Again, now this is 93% lean. I think it's 93. It's at least 90% because I want that to really be able to hold together, not get kind of juicy and fall apart, and a lot of juice. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I did forget to mention this recipe also calls for mozzarella, and we'll be cutting that up into cubes here in just a little while, because what we're going to have to do is let this mixture cool down before we stuff the peppers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a nice flat pasta bowl and let it go from there. So let's go with the meat. Just put that in there like that, kind of break it up a little bit. Not bad. You can tell it doesn't have a lot of fat, a lot of lean beef in there, so that's good. And like I say, the recipe calls for 8 ounces of ground beef, so I'm using 16, maybe 18 ounces, because, you know, I'd rather have more than enough, because you can always just use it for something else, than have not enough and end up with, you know, not enough for the food. So, and I'm feeding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people each day almost. So, not bad. But that's what we thought we'd get this done now, so I don't have to worry about it on the weekend when everybody's here, and I can just sit and relax and enjoy everybody's company. So we decided to do that, and really it's a good idea. Lainey is off teaching the last week of summer school. And then she's meeting some girls at Mr. Ito's for some lunch. And then tonight, I had already cooked some sesame-crusted sesame tuna, and with sesame seeds toasted and all that good stuff. So we're going to have that for dinner with some jasmine rice, of course. And who knows what else, maybe something else, but that ought to be good enough. So we're going to turn the heat up a bit there, let this continue to cook. So like I was saying, if anybody knows about Facebook Live, I guess I should have looked into it a little earlier, but I think you're able to go later to the thing and say, hey, I want to watch this, because I'm pretty sure it'll be on my feed, and then I want to try to download it and put it on newscafe.org. I know I'm a shameless marketer. I'm keep pushing that, but it's got all the recipes I've ever tried through my life that I can remember, and it's right there for you. You can download them. You can get pictures. I've got pictures of most of it too. I think, you know, next week we're going to do something that my friend Kosh Padurio will love, and my son Preston I know will love too. That's bhindi masala. I love bhindi masala, which is basically just an Indian dish of tomatoes, onions, and yeah, okra. You betcha. Love that okra. So we're cooking this up, and I'm just rattling along. I don't know if many of you are at work today or what's going on. Hey, Joey Wilson, how you doing? Good to see you. I just saw your name up there. I can just barely see. There's somebody else on there also, but it's upside down, and I'm not going to try to move the camera because, as you saw a little while ago, I already dropped the camera and went off. So I had to get back online again. So here we go. We're cooking in my new 14-inch Rachael Ray saute pan. You know, I've used a few of Rachel's recipes, especially the quick dinner ones that she has. That's kind of cool. But this one actually comes from the Beef Council at It's whatsfordinner.com. So, and like I say, if you guys are making comments, I'm sorry, the camera's up there. I will take it down here in a minute because I got to do something else, and I'll answer any questions that you may have at that time. Or you can instant message me, and I'll get back to you with what you may have missed or may not have missed. One more time, I will post the recipe, this recipe, and that famous nut bread recipe I made. Oh my God, that's good. I will post that one too. Now tomorrow we're making the mini meatloaves in a muffin tin. I think some of you have already tried that variations of that recipe. I thought, you know, with the girls coming and everything, you just pop them in, heat them up again, and away you go. It's real quick, simple to do. I am going to have one guilty pleasure this weekend. I was walking down the aisle of the supermarket and I saw Van Camp pork and beans. I saw Oscar Mayer weenies. How can you go wrong? Beans and weenies with a little macaroni on the side, some Lay's, potato chips, things like that. So now, because of my dietary restrictions, I have to be a meat-hating son of a gun. So I have to cook this until it's well done. No rare steaks for me for a long time. But, you know, it's going to bake in the oven anyway, so it's going to get rare done anyway. So let's see if I'm missing anything. I think we're good to go. Okay, now we need to add the tomato sauce and the basil. So here we go. Here's our 1.5 to 2 cups. Actually, it's about 2 cups of tomato sauce. Let's pour that in there like that. Pretty cool. There we go, just like that. Take this over to the wash station. Now, when it comes to the dried basil, it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons. But you know me, I just measure. Go like that. I like a little Italian seasoning. So let's mix that in there now, nice and easy. My goodness, that's really starting to get some good aromas here in the kitchen. The neighbors will be knocking on the door here shortly, wanting to sit down for lunch. I'm going to try. I'll be experimenting with Facebook Live and see if I can't. If I could watch my own feed, that'd be kind of cool, because then I'd probably be able to see your comments or know who's on here with me. I see 3 people now. Joy, hey, Grayson, Dr. Grayson down in Wichita is online with us at Opticology Eyewear, one of the top 5 medical doctors in North Wichita. Just got listed in the newspaper down there. So, and he sent me for Father's Day a beautiful pair of Maui Jims. I wear them to bed at night. That's how good they are. Let's see here. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to move this. Hey, my brother Mike's on there. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Cool. Now, I know I'm steaming up the camera, but that was the only place I could really put it. But, you know, what are you going to do? Okay, do I need anything else in this mixture? Let's take a look. Salt and pepper. Got to put that in there. Can't forget that. A little salt, a little pepper. Mix it all up. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to let it cook a little bit, because I think you've noticed that there's a little bit fat going on, but not that bad really. So let's turn that off, and I'm going to go get the plate, and we're going to cool it off. So, I'm going to use a slotted spoon, so that'll get rid of even more of the fat going on. Set that over there like that. Let's put this in. Now this is a nice, you can see kind of a nice shallow pasta bowl. And I'm only using that is because I want it to cool down quicker than it would if it just sat here in the oven on the stove itself. So I may have to use a couple of them. But that's okay. That's what the dishwasher's for. And I am the dishwasher. So, you know, I'm kind of pleased with this new pan. Certainly not going to write Rachel Ray a fan letter, but got to be careful. I don't know this new hard anodized stuff will be good or not, but we'll see. Let me just rinse that off real quick while you guys sit there and look at my empty burner. Okay, so now we're going to have to let this kind of cool down a little bit, and we'll be putting them into. So let's go ahead and let me turn this around. Now, if I lose you, I'm sorry. We're going to turn the camera around, and we'll be be working on some other things that we need to do. Let's see here now. Oh, I hope I don't lose anybody or go off. This is a real difficult mount, said the cowboy. Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll take this over here, move it back over, and kind of keep an eye on what's going on. Now, what we have to do is get the mozzarella out, and we're going to cube it. Let me set this up just a bit. There, so hold on just a second. We don't have any production engineers or anything like that, so I get to do this myself. But I'm used to that. I remember the days of good old Metro weather here in Kansas City. I was the only person there running the camera, the lights, the radar. Those were the days, weren't they, Time Warner fans? Yes, they were. So here I got, you know, just good old mozzarella. Low moisture, part skim. We're going to take it, open her up. Try not to cut my hand off when I do it. It's always nice. And safety first is the big thing at Q's Cafe. So here we got, you know, just a little piece of mozzarella, and we're going to cut them up into cubes, and then that's going to get mixed into the mixture too before it goes into the oven. Now, I would cut them rather thin cubes because, you know, I know it's going to melt, no worries, but I don't want to bite into it and have a big chunk of, you know, halfway cold mozzarella on there also. So let's see what we got. Now remember, I doubled this recipe, so I will put the original recipe up there later on this afternoon after my rest, and then you can do what you want with it. Double it, improve upon it. You can, you know, I would think maybe even a Spanish bell pepper with some smoked paprika, something like that would be rather cool. So we got them lined up here, and I'm going to cut them into 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks. Let me get a kind of separate them out there a little bit. You keep cool in here, big guys. Then I'm going to cut a another pepper so you can see how we've done that from scratch. That's why I was a little bit. I wanted to get in here before noon, but I forgot that even the people on the Food Network have prep cooks. They get everything ready for them, and then they don't have to do anything. I don't have that luxury. So I was running around trying to get things, and then people were calling on the phone, wanting to talk and visit and ask my opinion on the election coming up. And I said, what election? And there we go. Hey, I found a new way to really mess with a telemarketer the other day. I don't know where I saw it, but I've started doing it, and he's right. When you see a telemarketer call you, you just answer real quick and you go, hey, you're live on the air. What do you think about the new airport? They hang right up. I like that. That's good. Lainey hates it when I do mess with people, but, you know, hey, they called me, you know, and it's late at night sometimes. So you're live on the air. What do you think about this? And all of a sudden there's just nothing there anymore. So, hey, if you're going to do it pirate style, I say. So here we go. Let me see. Yeah, here we are. I'm sorry. So anyway, looks like the Mexican flag almost. Red, green, orange. Not bad. So let's just do this one real quickly. It's an orange bell pepper. Take the cap off. Now I take the caps and I save them and then chop them up for my morning veggie omelet, egg white veggie omelet. And I've got a little container in the refrigerator. It's got zucchini, yellow squash, onion, green, red bell peppers, mushrooms, green onions, and then I can add whatever I want to at that. And I just kind of saute that up and put it in egg white omelets, and I think it runs about 150 calories. It's not bad. And you're not using the egg yolk, which is, you know, can be bad sometimes. So as I said before, let me come around and I'll show you this a little up close. So you take your bell pepper, you see the membranes in here, right? So you take your spoon and just kind of go, just kind of dig in there. Be very careful, though, not to puncture the skin, because then you're going to have leakage and the kitchen will smoke up, and that'll be horrible. So, yummy. I do love peppers. Let's see, what was it? It was Sunday. I made shish kebabs. Used, well, they didn't have London broil, so I had to use something else. What did I use? Ground steak? Oh, who knows? And I love kebabs because I let them marinate in some teriyaki sauce for about 2 hours, and then just puncture onion, red onion, yellow onion, peppers, zucchini, yellow squash, and then the meat. And when you're grilling, you grill at high temperature, and they're done in 10-15 minutes, and it's time to eat. And you really don't need anything else because you got the vegetables and the meat and everything already. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. It's starting to cool down. We're right over a air conditioning duct. That should help. But I think they want it to be at least a little cooler than it was when it came off, because you don't want your peppers to start cooking before they should. And we'll be stuffing them here in just a moment. Looks like we're about half hour in. My goodness. So let me get some pans out that we'll need. And I've got to stay away from the cupboard because my nemesis lives in here, my Good and Plenties. And I'm not supposed to eat those, but nobody's here right now, so I say what happens in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to use today my two green organic, they came out maybe a year ago or so, the green ceramic pans, and this one here is, let's see, this is a 33 by 22, or Greenick it's called. I got two of those so I can put the peppers in it, but first we'll need some spray. So let's get some spray. Hi guys. Let's see. Spray, spray, spray. Right next to Grandma's molasses. You got to do that. Hey, Truman Jude. Cutting the cheese is your... Oh, no. You don't do that. Yep, that's my best work. And again, you can go to Q's Cafe and check out all these things. It's qscafe.org. I'll post these up there later on this afternoon after a little rest time. Thanks for everybody staying with me. I see a lot of them still with me. So we'll spray the pan down. I'm going to spray pretty good, even though these are supposed to be non-stick. You never know. I don't want to ruin them. Now, some people will say, well, why don't you just put tin foil down? Yeah, I could have. But you're going to have to cover the tin foil anyway, and, what are you going to do? So anyway, I'm going to go around and get my notes, and we'll get to go on. The oven is at 400 degrees, right where it should be. Whoops, easy there, easy, little woozy there going around that corner. So, what we do now is we take 3/4 of a cup of the mixture. So let me get my measuring cup out. Yeah, you don't have to be precise, but why not? So 3/4, that'd be 3 of these. I'm going to use the cup size and kind of guesstimate a little bit. I could just use my hands, but what are you going to do? I hope I got enough. We'll see. Hey, if not, I got extra peppers. So put that in there like that. Not bad. Let me check my notes here real quick. Okay, so we take some apricots, put it into the mixture. So add your apricots into your mixture. Now I got 2 bowls here, so then you take your mozzarella and add it into the mixture also. I didn't put any on this first one, so I'm going to just dump them in there real quickly. Just like that. Some more over here. Some more over here. And of course, some for the chef too. Mix it up. So everybody's got good plans for the 4th of July. However, I understand here in Kansas City, Overland Park more specifically, it's supposed to rain. So that's not good. One thing my son, Dr. Truman, chiropractor out in Erie, Colorado now, he's finding out, I think, is that it rains a lot in Colorado. He's right there next to the mountains, so, you know, what are you going to do? So we put this all in there, we arrange the peppers, all that good stuff like that. So here we go, number one, in you go, just like that. Number two, you know, I'm just going to switch to an eyeball method, because I want to make sure I've got enough, and sometimes, and this is going to expand a little bit. I can always add a little bit more, top it off. So there's two. Now try to arrange them so they don't touch, because then you'll get some charring and some sticking going on, and you don't want that. So here we go, we're filling them up. Nice, very nice. I don't recall how many I have sitting here, but you know, I was a little worried I was not going to have enough, but I think I'm going to have enough for even for some lunch today too. So there's 4. And here we go with 5. I don't know if you can hear my music in the background, but when I cook, I love to have music in the background, and usually, depending on what I'm cooking, if it's Spanish, Mexican, things like Tex-Mex, it's usually Gloria Estefan, something like that. Today, because it's kind of a relaxed, easy thing, we're just listening to some cool vocal jazz on Pandora through my Vizio out there. That's kind of cool. Let's taste that. Oh my goodness, that's good. Yeah. You're going to like this, folks. Guarantee it. So we fill him up, get a little more in there. Yeah, we'll have a little extra. That's good. I got another pepper or two somewhere. Get in there, cheese. All right, so I'm going to start the other pan now, too. I know, I'm eating with my fingers, but what are you going to do? Okay, get that apricot mixed in there real good, too. You know, I'm kind of interested to see what happens with this apricot business. That might be kind of cool. So there's, how many I got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so dinner is took care of. Now, these are kind of extras, so to speak. I think I got lunch planned for me today, too. So there we go. And we'll put these in here like this. I'm kind of getting all the cheese I can get at least in there, because that's what's going to make these cheesy good. Cheesy good. One thing I've learned about prednisone, I'm taking like 185 grams a day. That's some bad mamma jamma. That'll give you drug-induced insomnia. So you go to bed at night, you lay down, and about midnight you think, well, I got to get to sleep. Sleep for an hour, and then that's it, babies. You're done for the night. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to cover the dishes with some tin foil. So let me walk around and grab that real quickly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them in the oven, and then when they're done, I'll come back live again with part 3, and we'll take a look at the final project and go from there. Now, like I say, it's going to be at least a half hour, 45 minutes before they're ready to come out. So you guys can go back to your jobs or your retirement or whatever you're doing out there. So let's get a little tin foil action going here. Seal it up nice and tight so we get nothing but good old heat and steam. These things have a nice lid around them so you can kind of grip it. You know, a lot of pans don't have that. It's kind of hard to make that seal. So there's one, ready to go. And here's 2. We're ready to go here in just a minute. Okay, so here's the deal. I will put these in the oven, 400 degrees. My notes, 400 degrees for 50 minutes. So it's going to be at least an hour, hour and a half before I come back to you and show you the finished product. Because then I got to bake them for another 20 minutes uncovered. So what are we looking at? Almost 70 minutes, so hour and a half. And it's now noon, so about 1:30, I'll give you a countdown again, saying we're live in 5, and we'll see what it looks like when we come out of it. So, like I said, if you have any questions, you can instant message me on Facebook. You can comment at qscafe.org. We have a contact page also. And of course, a lot of you know a cell phone number anyway and my email address. So if you have any questions, call. But if I see any comments that need to be answering, I'll do that. So until then, thanks for joining us here at qscafe.org. Hi peeps, we're back again, a little early, a couple of minutes, but I said about 1:30, and we've got some mixed results. That's why we test these recipes out before we do it. Let's take a look at the finished product first. Alrighty, there you go. Let me back up here a bit. Need to get some anti-shake going on. So there's one pan, and there's the more full pan. A little close-up perhaps. A little melted cheese, some charring going on the peppers. That's going to be wonderful. Okay, so let's talk. Now remember that cooked for 50 minutes at 400 degrees, and then you take the. I'm tired, so I can't think too clearly sometimes. But you take that off, and the aluminum foil, you take it off, and then, hi Scott Wallace, aren't you supposed to be working? But anyway, you take the tin foil off, and then you cook it again for another 20 minutes at 400 degrees to kind of get it all charred up a little bit. Now, here's where the fail came in. Not an epic fail, but it was a fail. Remember I told you you needed at least a cup and a half of... yeah, I can tell. You need a cup and a half of rice. I use jasmine rice. Well, the rice, and I checked the recipe 4 times now afterwards, they forgot to add the rice into the mixture. Now that would have absorbed some of the moisture that was carried over. So what am I going to do? Well, I think they look okay, and once I freeze them and heat them up, they'll be great. And I'll serve some buttered rice on the side, and you can just kind of mix it in. But this next time, I will include it in the recipe at qscafe.org, I'll include the rice mixture mixed into the meat too, so that'll absorb some of the moisture. Now I think we'll be hunky-dory. So that's the results. Very short message. I will post the recipe later this afternoon, if not tomorrow morning, at www.qscafe, that is qscafe.org, and you can try it out yourself sometime.